We've been living in the van for about 3 weeks now, and I'm learning really quickly that it is virtually impossible to do anything in the van without your partner noticing, including giving yourself a bush buzz cut. So I'm sure you can imagine how much difficulty I've been having trying to come up with a secret birthday surprise for Kirsten, and I want to do something really special for her this year for her birthday, since it's our first year living in the van together, and I think I have the perfect idea.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kirsten. Happy birthday to you. Make a wish. What did you wish for?
A spoon.
Oh, thank you. Everything I ever wanted.
We're Rich and Kirsten, and we're currently living and working in our van in the beautiful Canadian Rockies. We've been spending our time in the Banff area recently, and for Kirsten's birthday, we wanted to try climbing to the top of one of the most photographed mountains in the entire Canadian Rockies. Wow, he's beautiful. Could not have asked for a better day for a hike. The views of Big Sister and of the Canadian Rockies are opening up behind us. This is a really magical hike, although it's been a slog. We've really enjoyed it. The terrain's been varying, and we can see the summit cairn. So what more can you ask for, right?
It's a beautiful way to spend a birthday.
You can see Mount Cascade and Mount Rundle over there, that way. Banff is just around this mountain here. There's a really nice view of Big Sister and deeper into the Canadian Rockies. That right there is Little Sister and the Kananaskis Front Ranges. Absolutely gorgeous views. It's still there.
It's still here. So in here today is a Megatron. Looks like a McDonald's toy. We have a hand warmer, a pad, a rock, I think commemorating someone's unfortunate demise. Well, that was a very, very nice hike. And honestly, I don't know what all the fuss was about it being not so great coming through the creek bed. We loved it. But it took us about 5 hours to get up here, and it should probably take us about 3 hours to get back down. I'm hungry, and I think I already know what I want for dinner. It's wild to look up at the mountains and then be like, boop, 5 hours later you're on top. And it wasn't by airplane.
Or helicopter.
It's funny though, even up here, you can still hear the sounds of the highway droning on. It just reminds you, you're never really that far from the city. You got a little bit of sun here on your neck. Just a little bit, nowhere else.
I applied sunscreen 5 times during the hike. At the beginning and 4 times during the hike, and I still got sunburned. How does this happen? I even put my hat on for the last 2 hours.
I think it's time for SPF 80 for you. We decided to treat ourselves, I guess you could call it treating ourselves.
Treating her, actually.
To a campsite tonight. For one main reason, a shower. We have an outdoor shower, but it's not always convenient to use it. So coming to this campground tonight allowed us to have a very nice shower.
I'm sure you couldn't imagine someone using a solar shower in a Walmart parking lot or a trailhead parking lot or wherever else we park. It just doesn't seem quite right.
Luckily for us, this spot is only 10 minutes from Banff the town, which allowed us to pick up the second reason why we decided on getting a campsite tonight. Dinner. We're normally one for cooking ourselves, and honestly we don't eat out very often, But today we followed where our nose took us the other night and got Indian food. We ordered one non-traditional thing, which is paneer pakoras. We've never had them, although we did have deep fried paneer when we were in Delhi, and that was so good. We also got one of our two of our favorite dishes, shahi paneer and dal tadka or dal tadka. Both are so good. Most of them are in like a tomato onion gravy. There's a bit of cilantro in the dal dish, and we also got some rice, some naan, and some papadums, which most Indian restaurants don't carry, so I'm excited that they have these. Oh, it's still really hot. All right, naan for you, sir.
Yes. There's a lot of food. We're gonna have leftovers. There is one problem, I suppose, with eating Indian food in a campsite is that bears have a great sense of smell, and this Indian food smells very strong and very good.
We're also located right on the edge of the campsite in the outer ring. I don't know if that was strategic or just poor planning. As we said before, I do eat gluten-free, Richard doesn't. The naan is not gluten-free. Papadums, because they're made out of lentils, they are, but I always ask the restaurant what they can prepare safely. These paneer pakoras are made out of chickpea flour, and I'm so excited to try these. I think I prefer the original, but
Definitely.
there's nothing fundamentally wrong with it. They're just a touch dry, and I think they're normally not dry because of all the vegetables in them. So we are gonna start with the paneer because this was one of our absolute favorites in India. Look at the oil on the top. Oh, we need this after today. I also like dal makhni, but this one, if I find it,
Enough talking.
you can't take it anymore. I'm starting.
The suspense.
Are you starting with the shahi?
Paneer. Shahi paneer. We got medium for both dishes. It's quite warm.
It's warm.
Whew. It ain't gonna stop me tonight though.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
this is really good.
So good.
I would say this has pretty authentic Indian flavor. I would also say that we are pretty tired, very hungry, ready to enjoy this and get a good night's sleep. So we're gonna wrap this up now so it doesn't turn into a mukbang, and we'll catch you in the morning. If yesterday was the Instagram version of van life, today is definitely the reality version. We've been hanging out at the local information center for the last couple hours getting some work done. We're probably gonna move over to the community center for a few hours to make dinner and continue working. It is a Saturday and the area is completely overrun by tourists, which is not really our style, although school's out here in Alberta and this is Banff after all. Last night we experienced something really strange at our sleeping spot. There was a vehicle next to us at about 11 p.m. just blaring their music with their headlights on, and there was two girls out dancing in the rain.
Are you sitting in the front seat?
Yeah. Belting Dangerous Woman at the top of their lungs. That is until somebody in a car, a couple cars down, got out and started yelling at them, and they left very fast. Anyways, it's another hiking day for us. The weather's looking good, but it's a little windy, so we'll see how this one goes.
Well, we saw a black bear this morning in the only place we ever really seem to see bears, trailheads and parking lots. Black bears are not super scary in comparison to the grizzly bears. Not that you shouldn't take them seriously. I think he was probably going to check out the picnic tables for some scraps. It seemed like it was kind of part of his morning routine, but as soon as he saw us, he freaking booked it. Black bears are world-class sprinters. I'm talking like world record setting, and not just in sprinting, also hurdling. Those things can climb trees so fast. We do get a lot of questions about bears, both on Instagram and on YouTube. They're not really something to be scared of if you understand your relationship with them, which has to be very symbiotic for you to understand that you're entering their environment, not your environment. They're not really that scary if you're well protected. We always carry with us bear spray, which is the last resort. We would rather just walk away and leave peacefully, but most of the time, the bears will walk away before you do.
Starting to shape up to be another turnaround here. The wind gusts are really strong. And the last part of this summit is a pretty narrow ridge walk. I'm not feeling so comfortable about this anymore, so I think we're gonna head down because Mother Nature is nothing to be played around with, especially this early in the season. And this part of the mountain's even protected from the wind. We found ourselves like a nice rock band to hide behind, and we're still getting blown around here.
If you look up behind me, you can see just where we're supposed to be going. The clouds are absolutely ripping through. This is a mountain blowout. Today we made a new addition to the van, this butane stove. This might seem a little bit strange because we already have an induction, and you might have already seen us use our MSR pocket rocket for boiling water for coffee and oatmeal in the morning. However, this is something that is a bit of a long time coming. We did originally know that we would be buying something like this. It's just taken us a little while to get to it because in order to harness enough energy from our DC to DC charger to use our induction for every single meal, it would require us to idle a lot, and that's just not something we want to do. So for now, this is the perfect solution for us. This unit only cost us $35, and it cost us $10 to get 4 cans of butane gas. These are good for 130 minutes each. We're not crazy about the waste that these canisters do create. However, there are safe recycling programs available in many towns in this area, so we feel a little bit better about that because they might turn around and refuel them, or at least be able to properly dispose of them. It is just one of the many hurdles of learning how to cook in a van. So what better way to break in our new stove than doing one of the things we dread the most with our induction, which is making quinoa, or rice, or pasta for that matter, because anytime we have to run the stove for 20 minutes at a time, it just draws a lot of power. So we're gonna whip this out, make some quinoa, and make one of our favorite kind of salads, like one of the ones that make you feel like you're eating healthy even though you really probably aren't. We're making a kale quinoa Caesar salad. It's one of our favorite. It's like a bad excuse for eating a salad if you're gonna eat Caesar salad. So this is the setup we've concocted to get the butane burner as close to the exhaust fan as possible. We would be fine probably with it on the counter, but we just feel a little bit better getting it directly underneath this, especially because normally with anything we'll be cooking on this, there's a lot of moisture, and we just don't want the moisture in the van. That is a van's #1 enemy. This butane stove, luckily for us, is self-lighting, so it's pretty straightforward. You just lock your butane can into place and it locks this grate in, and then you just click to start. Unintentionally, when we built this van, we picked the strongest slides we could get, which were 70-pound sliders, so there's no worry these will hold a lot of weight, and there's really not too much in them right now. They are super, super sturdy, although I wouldn't lean on them personally. They do the job. Turn that down, and 15 minutes later we should have wonderful quinoa. And just like that, 15 minutes later, light, fluffy quinoa ready for our salad. But it just needs to cool off a little bit, otherwise we're gonna wilt our lettuce. Of course, you have to add the salad part, which normally involves green things. So this is organic baby kale. Regular kale would work, but you need to massage it a lot, and honestly, I just don't have the time or the manpower for that. So baby kale it is, which has been surprisingly hard to find in this neck of the woods. I'm not sure what the aversion is to baby kale here. Maybe they just don't like the superfood greens like we do back home in Ontario. This is the loads of garlic Caesar dressing from PC. Absolutely terrible for you. Yes, you have to brush your teeth after. And then for the crunchy parts, which are kind of like croutons but also add a lot of protein, we've got some roasted chickpeas and some sunflower pumpkin super seed mix. And that's our semi-healthy salad, full of protein and all the good stuff for you, with a hint of the not so good stuff for you. I've been lucky enough to spend my birthday in a lot of places, but I have to say this one was definitely one for the books. As always, thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, we would love it if you would join us, and if you're feeling so ambitious, hit the notification bell. Needless to say, we'd love it if you give us a thumbs up, and thank you so much to our patrons for making videos like this possible. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye!